With the Rockets losing in 7 games to the Golden State Warriors and Jalen Green playing like this, things have been really hot for Jalen Green, and his future with the team is very uncertain. So what is up, y'all, and welcome back to another video. And before we get into everything, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Today we're gonna be talking about Jalen Green, and you see the title, where he will be going. So stay tuned for that, and now let's get into the video. So obviously about 10 seconds ago, you saw Jalen Green's horrible Game 7 performance against the Golden State Warriors, and if you watched it live, you even know it was worse than what it looked like on the stat sheet. But if you've been watching the series, and if you didn't, then here's the stats of his last 6 games before that. He has not been playing good. His first game of the series, 7 points on 20% field goal percentage, horrible. Then he had a 38-point game, which was really good. He made up for that. But then every other game was terrible. 9 points, 36% from the field. 8 points, 37% from the field. 11 points, 37% from the field. And 12 points, 27% from the field. All just very bad, and the caption goes, "You better keep that IG deactivated, bro." Because before the series, he didn't say, "I'm going to deactivate the Instagrams," because he wants to stay locked in. So, that did not age well at all. But yeah, let's talk about Jalen Green and what teams he could go to if he were not to be on the Rockets next season. And before we get into that, make sure you guys know this is all hypothetical. If you ask me, I think he should stay with the Rockets. I mean, if anything, if they want to trade him, they should trade him later when his trade value is a little bit up, because right now his trade value is at an all-time low. It just wouldn't make sense at all to trade him away. And at the end of the day, he was still your leading scorer. He still has, good potential, good upside. He's a good athletic, guard who can do it all, basically. And, he just had a bad series. It was his first playoff series. He's young. Give him a break. I say you should just keep him and build on from this loss. But, it's not going to be any fun. So let's talk about some teams he could go to if he weren't on the Rockets next season. And it starts off with the Los Angeles Lakers. What do you expect, man? The Lakers are always in, trade talks. Then we have the Knicks, the Heat, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Raptors. Pretty much all big team names except for like the Raptors or the Thunder maybe. But the Thunder are a big team name because they're good. But, these are all just very, very early hypothetical, scenarios that could happen for Jalen Green if, he does get traded. But yeah, let's talk about each one and break them down now. So first we got the Lakers, and to be honest, it doesn't really make that much sense, but he is the front runner unless they really think that Jalen Green's a better player than Austin Reeves, which I think they're very close in skill set. I think Jalen Green has a little bit more upside, but I think Austin Reeves is the more complete player right now. But also, Jalen Green's the first option, Austin Reeves is the third option, so, it's kind of hard to compare the two. But if the Lakers do think that Jalen Green's an upgrade over Austin Reeves, then I could see it happening. But if you ask me, I just don't really think it would be a good scenario for Jalen Green or the Lakers at all, because you're kind of just getting stagnant. You're just getting another guy who can score and another guy that's not really addressing your problems because you need a big man. So if you ask me, the Lakers shouldn't really get him, but they are the front runner, so that is interesting because the Lakers are always in trade talks. So, if Jalen Green does somehow end up on the Lakers next season, I'll be shocked, but at the end of the day, it's the Lakers, so you can never be too shocked. Next up, we got the Knicks, which is also kind of interesting. I mean, they do have a really good defensive team around, Jalen Brunson right now. So if you add in Jalen Green, you would probably get rid of Hart maybe, and then you would keep Anunoby and Bridges, which could be still a really good defensive team around Jalen Green and Brunson. And if the Knicks think that they need more, like a little bit more scoring, it could be a potential scenario. I'm not really sure, though. I feel like the Knicks team is really good right now, and maybe unless they think Jalen Green can be a super six-man for them, I just don't know exactly how he'll fit with the Knicks scheme, because the Knicks kind of just like to run, big wings with Jalen Brunson and Cat, and then, just guys who are good defensively, and I feel like Jalen Green might mess up that kind of flow there. But the Knicks are not as crazy as the Lakers, in my opinion, but I guess the Knicks are an option. The next team we got is the Heat, and I mean, I don't know what the Heat's plan is going forward. They could try to trade Wiggins, but, I just don't think the Rockets would want Wiggins, and I don't think the Heat would give up Tyler Hero for Jalen Green, because Tyler Hero is just probably just a better version of Jalen Green at this point in their careers. So I don't really know exactly what the Heat would give up, but also I don't know what the benefit for the Rockets would be getting anyone from the Heat. Maybe they try to get more defensive guys. Maybe they get Wiggins and who knows, man. I don't know exactly. It would be centered around Wiggins, though. But I don't really know how much I like the Heat for Jalen Green. But it could be a cool little interesting backcourt if the Heat get Hero and Jalen Green to build their future around alongside Bam Adebayo. I don't know, man. That could be a cool, interesting backcourt and team, I guess, in general. But I don't really know how likely that'll be, so I'm just going to kind of ignore it. But it could happen. It could definitely happen. The next two teams, we have the Warriors and the Clippers. And I'm just going to go ahead and say these are a little bit pushing it because I don't really know exactly how the Warriors would get Jalen Green without giving up, any of their main guys like Pods or someone like that, which I guess they could, but I just don't think it makes sense for the Warriors to get a younger player like Jalen Green who's not fully developed. But maybe they sign Kuminga on a big contract and kind of trade him for Jalen Green, but I just don't see how that helps the Warriors that much in my opinion. But the Clippers are actually very interesting because if the Clippers want to blow it up and build young, they could trade, Kawhi Leonard for Jalen Green and some other assets, maybe Jalen Green and a Cam Whitmore, maybe a couple picks. Who really knows? The Rockets could, get Kawhi Leonard, who's immediate offense, because the Rockets need immediate go-to scorer, and Kawhi Leonard would be that. And that could be a sneaky little team for Jalen Green to go to and Kawhi Leonard to go to. So, honestly, the Clippers might be my favorite. Or they can even trade Harden. Maybe Harden gets his little reunion with Houston and kind of just finish his career there. That could be a cool little trade asset. I mean, the Clippers are probably my favorite out of all these teams, to be honest. Because if the Clippers want to reset, they could definitely do this. But yeah, next team we have is the Celtics, which I'm just going to go ahead and say that's not going to happen. The Celtics have so much money tied into their star guys that they want to be losing money. They don't want to trade for another guy who's going to be making similar money. So even if they were trying to trade for Jalen Green, he'd be making too much money, and the Celtics want to shed money right now. So, I just don't see the Celtics happening. And the next team after that, we have the Thunder, which I also don't think is going to happen because the Thunder have their core set. They're a late 60 win team. They're probably going to be winning 60 for the next few years. I just don't think they should break it up and, risk getting a guy like Jalen Green who's kind of inconsistent and, not fully developed, like I said, for the Warriors. So I don't think the Thunder should happen either. But the last team is actually the Raptors, which I think might be my favorite out of all these teams. The Clippers and the Raptors are my favorite too, and the Raptors might be my favorite even over the Clippers because the Raptors are young. They don't really have an exact direction. They have Scotty Barnes. They have, guys like Jakob Poeltl. They have guys like Emmanuel Quickley. They have guys like RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram, but they don't really have much to lose right now, so they could try something with a Jalen Green and maybe hope, he blossoms there in Toronto. So who really knows there, but I honestly like the Toronto Raptors a lot here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Jalen Green could be traded, but honestly, I just don't think he should. But, if he does get traded, it's going to be probably one of these teams. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about these options. Let me know what you think about Jalen Green and his performance recently. And, yeah, man, let me know what you guys think there. Like the video, subscribe like I said earlier, and we out.